Welcome everyone to the Hot Slice. I'm creative director Josh Count. Along with me, the host that keeps this show running together all the
Sometimes.
time, Miss Denise Greer, the executive editor of Pizza Today. Hello, Denise.
I loved how your voice got really high when you said
It's
welcome. So
my TV anchor voice.
I love it, and I was just talking to a friend the other day and I was like, I think I do have a podcast voice and
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
you
mean
have a very
to.
NPR podcast voice, kind of like
Yeah.
the SNL skit where they're talking about the NPR SNL skit.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
kind of the vibe I get.
operators, we want to know your business voice. Do you have a business voice? You need to tell us. Like, hit us up on social and let us know, like, what your business voice is and how it's different from how you generally speak. Because I
Yeah,
want to know.
I bet it's different between what you speak to your customers and your distributors and
And
the
your
bank. I
chat
mean, I'm sure
staff.
they're all different
Yeah.
voices.
Yeah.
I know they are. I know they are.
Yeah. I know. All right. So we are, wow, we've had big days. Like, we've already had National Pizza Day, Super
Mhm.
Bowl Sunday, Valentine's Day, all right in a row, like bam, bam, bam. So I'm sure y'all are tired. I know your
Yeah,
crews are tired. Please remember to thank them. Please remember to do something nice for them. Just a simple thank you goes a long way with your
it really
team.
does.
I promise you that. So let's just get right into it. So we had a couple reach out to us because they wanted to share their story with Pizza Today's audience. They wanted to talk to other operators about their business and who they are. So on the podcast today, we have Kelly and Brian Glynn, and they own Village Idiot Pizza in Columbia, South Carolina. And what I love about this couple is they met at the shop working for the original owners.
In the
And if
90s, mid 90s. Yeah.
if that's not a meet cute, I'm not sure what is, because that's so cute. And we just had Valentine's Day, so there you go. And think of this as our Valentine's special, the hot slice.
So yeah, their story is amazing, and they've owned the Village Idiot, which is a fantastic name. A
Yeah.
fantastic name.
Oh,
They've owned it for 20 years, so they got a
yeah.
lot of stories, they got a lot of knowledge, and
Yeah.
they're going to
Three
share it all.
locations.
Three locations, yeah, right there on the University of South Carolina's campus, or two of them. So we get into talking about game days and how they prepare for that, because that sounds intense. That's like 100,000
Yeah.
plus people just
Yeah.
descending on your I don't know, 1-2 mile area.
Yeah.
That's like, come on. This is
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, we get into a lot of good stuff. It's a wonderful pod. I had a great time
Yeah.
talking to them. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
With extraordinary pizza cheese comes extraordinary rewards. Only Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese offers the Gold Club Rewards program with monthly cash back on every cheese purchase. Members also receive funds twice a year to use in their exclusive marketing store. It's their way of saying grazie to customers. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice and discover how rewarding Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese can be. Pizza is your legacy. Build it with Baccio.
Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today.
Hey there, Kelly and Brian. How are you doing this morning?
We are good.
Very well. Thank you.
Excellent.
I can tell that you're probably in your office.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. My
Multi-
lovely office in the attic of one of our locations.
Oh,
Is it-
nice. In the attic.
Is it in the
Wow.
original location or?
In our
Yeah.
original location. We're a second floor is where the restaurant is, and then I'm up in the third floor attic.
Oh. Okay. Hey, Hey, you know what? You're doing better than some, because I've actually seen them in closets. I've seen them just a desk in the kitchen. I've seen them in a little itty bitty section of the delivery area. Like, we've seen them every which
The
way.
fact that both of you guys can sit in there is saying a lot for an office.
I feel good now that I have like a desk and a door that I can close.
Yeah, you should feel good.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, Brian gets a camping chair.
Proper office furniture. You got it going on.
You guys have it. So I got to tell you,
I don't need him sitting at a desk. I need him down in the kitchens.
Yep. You're like, no chair for you.
Right.
You got to get to work. So one thing that I wanted to talk about right from the bat is y'all met at the original location, working at the original location, and then somehow you ended up taking over the restaurant. So we've got to hear that story, because
take us back.
It's amazing.
We did. We back in college, mid 90s. We both began working here, a little separate time, maybe a couple of weeks apart.
Yeah, week month or so.
I was server bartender. Brian was, of course, the pizza cook. And yeah, we met and worked together, had a contentious work relationship, as most front of house and back of house do.
So I didn't think she liked me.
That's how all great romances start, right there. That's how me and my wife started. She couldn't stand me at first.
But that front of house, back of house rivalry too,
It is always a rivalry going on during business hours. But then, after hours, we began, dating and ended up getting married, moved on to other careers, got married, and then had the opportunity to come back and purchase the flagship location in 2003.
And we're right around Valentine's Day, so that is a perfect, cute story, right? So, we have heard about Village Idiot for a long time. What made you want to take over and buy the business, and kind of take us through that process of taking over an established business? Because it's been around for 32 years, so it's a well-established pizzeria.
Yeah, and 1990 is when the Village Idiot first opened, and we both started working there almost there at the beginning. And I think we had worked in pizza before, both of us separately. Brian in New York, me here in Columbia, and I just think that pizza was kind of in our blood, whether we knew it or not, whether we knew that would be our path. And we had a soft spot for the Village Idiot from when we worked here. And we felt that we could really make an impact to the brand with the opportunity to take it over.
Yeah, it was where we met. Pizza was definitely in my blood. It's what I grew up doing, making pizza at a place in my neighborhood. And we worked for the original owners. They had sold it to another guy in the late 90s. Worked for him for a little bit. It's a great guy, but wasn't a restaurant guy. He just kind of retired early. He was an executive. He bought a place. What a lot of people find out, it's not what you think it is.
No, it's not.
And we kind of, like Kelly said, we went on different careers. She was doing things in hotels and stuff. I actually was driving a beer truck. And the opportunity came back up, and we knew we were both very hard, dedicated workers, and we knew some things that we always wanted to do and couldn't do for whatever reasons. And I do think that it was just having that opportunity where we met and knowing what we could do with the brand. It was too appealing to pass up that opportunity. I think if we had, we would have thought about it every day for the rest of our lives about a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have it in your blood you guys 20 years now that you've owned it. I mean, that's a lot. So, I mean, you have to have it in your blood to do that. Like,
What do you think in that 20 years since you've owned it? What has been kind of the biggest, learning lesson or, thing that you've found about being in the business, especially after working in the business for a little while too?
that's a tough one because we could go in
How long do we have?
lots of
Hey, you've got as much time as you want.
Hey,
We'll we
Until
can
Zoom
always
kicks us
edit you
off.
down.
especially staying on trend with the topic
Mhm.
is working, being married to one another. We see each other day in and day out.
Mhm.
We wake up, we see each other, we go to work, we see each other. So it's just navigating that balance,
Mhm.
work-life balance. Before we had our twins, which came in 2017, we didn't really have a work-life balance. It was work.
Yeah.
We were both in here every day. We were doing our thing. And, after the twins came, we had to really figure out
Mhm.
how to prioritize a little bit better and navigate who's doing what, because we both were just doing everything.
Yeah. What are those roles like for you guys? Like, how are you balancing the different roles? Like how are you guys staying in your lanes, and what are those lanes?
In the lanes kind of, they blur here and there. I think
They do.
the reason, and people, a lot of, they're like, how do you work with your, you guys are,
Yeah.
but it's our strengths are very different.
Mhm.
It's really yin and yang. Like, my weaknesses are her very strongest strengths, and I think her weaknesses, which there aren't many, are where my
Aw.
strengths come in. So we don't ever have, like, when decisions are being made, there's never really a competition of my way's right, or it's kind of a defer to the person who's, it's more in their strength zone. But as far as when we took over, I mean, we were handwriting tickets, and
Mhm.
a big delivery map on the wall, and it just, there wasn't even really a pizza specific POS, so there's so much.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I think all of the learning that we've done has
Mhm.
been through error.
Oh yeah.
So after, I guess, 20 years, you start getting kind of good at some stuff, but it's taking lumps along the way.
Yeah.
How was the pizza? How was the pizza and the concept evolved since you guys took over in 2003 till now?
So we've always been a traditional New York style pizza. The original owners were three friends from New Jersey area that moved down to Columbia, South Carolina, and wanted to open a New York style pizza restaurant. So we are still very traditional in that style. Brian's background is New York style pizza. So we've stayed strong to the product. With Brian being able to really take the recipes and perfect what that product end result product is. But we are traditional New York style.
And I think that's always been, that's, if you think about it, that's our spine, that's our backbone. That's what everything centers around. We've, put some stuff on the menu, taken some stuff off. In our second location kind of was more in a neighborhood type area, whereas our original and then our third location are right on other sides of the University of South Carolina. So, boiling it down, we're in a college town, but we're not just a college place. We have family, good lunch business and everything. But you think pizza, wings, beer, games on TVs, come one, come all type of place. That formula, really, you can't go away from that. Is for us. That's what we are. It's who we are. But we've evolved to, I think, more, not so much culinary, but our brand is more realizing that the great thing about pizza is it's so community oriented. I mean, we can be in schools, we can be in churches, we can help with youth groups, we can be in festivals, there's so much you can do with it. So I think Kelly's done a great job over the past 2 decades of really, the Village Idiot, people know it. Now let's really, what is the Village Idiot brand? Who are we in this community? And let's be in the community and let people know who we are, what we are, and how we want to be a part and everything. So I think that's the evolution has basically been, you know, who we are and how we want to be involved.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, can you give me some kind of examples of, you know, some of the efforts and engagement that you've been able to do, and what's kind of worked for you and your brand?
Sure. I think, you know, starting out, it was very grassroots effort. We really just started putting ourselves front facing, and like Brian said, we would go to every street festival with our little pizza warmer, and we would do pizza by the slice, and it just was about being out there in the community and letting people see who we were, and obviously it was to build the brand in order to grow sales, and that's what we're doing.
I will say that at that time, you know, we got a branded tent and we go out to all these things, and I'd say
we didn't get a branded tent for like 15 years after we
it was, I'd be like, hey, oh, that's right, we had a little sign, but I'd be like, you want it, we're gonna sell like 3 pizzas. She's like, it's not about the sales, we got to be out there, we got to be in front of people. They need to know it, they need to see us, they need to. So I would push back on that, but she steadfast, we got to be out there. So
so being visible out in the community was very important. I felt just for brand recognition. You know, another thing that really catapulted us into our community minded focus was I would get inundated with emails and phone calls for donations.
Oh, absolutely.
You write us a check, and you know, pizza seems to be an easy ask. People are, you know, give us a few pizzas. Can you write a check? And you just can't say yes to everyone. And
well, we did for many
we
years.
tried, but because we are giving, we tried, but it's not sustainable. So we developed a percentage sales, you know, people do it all over the country, but and they come in and it's a partnership. Still, we're going to write them a check at the end of the day. But we wanted them to have a little bit of buy-in. So we do a lot of charitable events in the restaurant. We do a large, since our twins came, our Pizza for Babies campaign that we do every November has become a huge success. We're able to donate back to the March of Dimes. So just through different charitable, allowing the community to partner with us to do it and not just doing it on our own has really just helped with the brand.
And for any other pizzerias out there struggling with that kind of thing, go to your website, because you have a great spot on your website for the percentage. So it's a drop down there. You can learn a lot more about that.
Absolutely. And does it change? Does your branding and messaging change between the different locations, or is it? Do you have different approaches depending on which market you're in with those locations?
So we did. We had. It was a struggle when the second location, when we opened the second, we really were trying to speak to 2 different audiences. And we tried to sustain that. But when the third location opened, we went through a rebranding. Our logo changed slightly. Our menu became consistent across all 3, and now it's in one voice. Did you work with an outside agency to come up with that branding strategy, or did you come up with it yourself? Like, how did you work through that? It started just us because, again, at that point in time, you know, getting an agency on board and it was, but when we opened the third, went through the rebranding, we did bring on an agency to help kind of make that voice a little cohesive. Because when you're talking about, you know, your social media platforms, we don't want 3 social media platforms. We want one, and pushing out that consistency. Not all of them, you know, offer a full bar service. So I want to keep that messaging as limited as possible, so that we're just to every customer at every potential location. How did your menu change? Did your menu change when you went through that? We just had a few offerings at our flagship location that we didn't have at the second location. And it was problematic at times. And again, that messaging thing, come out and enjoy this special, but we don't have it here. So it's got confusing. It gets confusing to the customer. So when that third one, when we knew we were getting ready to open the third, became very, we were very aware that we needed to make that a little more cohesive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
Locations are very, the original where we are, one of them's less than 2 miles one direction, and one of them's like, right,
If a mile.
Yeah.
On the other side of campus. So
They're very close.
And it's weird. You don't realize you can have completely different customers in such a close area.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it was interesting.
So what's a just real quick, just because I want to know, what's a Saturday home football game look like for you guys?
Oh gosh. SEC.
Yeah. I'd love to know what that kind of day is and how you navigate it.
And it's amazing too how much difference it is depending on the time of kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Noon kickoff is probably a little different than the 8 p.m. kickoff for sure.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Even on road games, the kickoff time you're talking you can double sales depending on kickoff time.
Mm-hmm.
It's electric and it's exciting.
Yeah.
And the neighborhood is buzzing and the is excited, and there's a tremendous amount of prep, and it's days in advance we're making sure that our staffing is still where it needs to be and making adjustments. And
you get to, and I don't know if you have any experience with like SEC football, but
Kentucky. Yeah, we're in Louisville, so we definitely get the Kentucky.
When Georgia plays here, start seeing people in Georgia shirts like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then
wow,
RVs are rolling in. So by Thursday, you're into game weekend like fully. Mm-hmm. Friday's just nutballs, then Saturday is, and then Sunday everybody. What?
So what like explain to me with the game times, like a noon kickoff or an 8 p.m. kickoff or a 3 p.m. kickoff even. What which are busier? Like, is a noon kickoff going to be
kickoff is the busiest because we'll open at 11. So a noon kickoff, Friday night's a little bit less because people got to start tailgating earlier.
Yeah.
So Friday night kind of winds down a little bit earlier, but we'll be full typically within 15 minutes of opening.
Yeah.
And then, so you're full through the game. Then you get a lot of people who are leaving halftime sometime in the second half. They want to go directly out, have some beers, eat. So they kind of backfill anybody who's leaving after the game. And then you have the people who leave after the game to go home and take a nap. They need
that would be one of those.
They did the game, they got to take a nap. So when the people who went right from the game out, eating and drinking, once they start losing their energy and falling off, people are starting to wake up and come out. It ends up being all, from when you open 11 in the morning until whenever you close the doors.
Wow.
Which for us is between midnight and 2 a.m. It's awesome. There's a lot of energy. You get, obviously college kids, but all the people traveling. So, you're having in their 70s, hanging out, drinking beers with college, just
we're seeing
people dancing.
We're seeing the college kids. We're seeing the parents of the college kids. We're seeing, obviously the other team. We're seeing old employees that are here anymore that are coming in. So it really is just this great kind of reunion vibe too. It's fun.
With such incredible rushes that you have, I think about employees and how you're able to schedule and tackle employee management in those settings. How are you doing it? How are you tackling that big task of employees?
2 locations on each on
campus. Exactly.
We haven't been to very many home football games.
Yeah, we don't get to go to the games.
Yeah, no.
The staffing, and it's going to look very different at all 3 locations because they're all they're going to get busier at different times just because of their locations and their clientele. But I mean, we're building those schedules well above a week out. We always do our schedules. But and then they're constantly being tweaked. There's pushing out communication to those on those shifts constantly, because one of them decides that they're going to go to the game and call out. We need to be ready. We need to be overstaffed. It's a constant juggle and maneuvering just to make sure that we're completely covered.
And it is, when we interview anybody any time of year, one of the questions is, what are your feelings about going to home football games?
Yeah.
For them, then it's really not a job for you, because those are, there's 7 Saturdays a year that are very important to us.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of times too, you may have someone who's trained up really good, maybe been there for 6-7 months, but they started in the winter, and it's almost like combat. You may think something about someone, but once the shots start getting fired,
yeah,
you don't know how they're going to react until that happens.
Yeah.
So it is. I mean, it's interesting, but it's also, you can get knocked around. I think this past fall, there was one day where a couple newer people, it was the first time they've been through a football season, and things just went off the rails, but held it together and got through. And at the end of the night, I was like, well, you made it through. You're both standing and you have a smile on your face, and it'll never get worse than that.
Yeah, that's the worst. It's going to the worst.
Yeah, so, if you can do that.
Yeah, but it is. It's a re-energizing thing every year going into it for several reasons, and just kind of tackling those 7 monsters a year it's fun.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And I know real big congratulations to you guys. You've had some recent awards come your way. You just got inducted into the Columbia Restaurant Hall of Fame in November. So congrats. That's huge. And then Kelly, you are the South Carolina Women in Business Award winner. So, oh my goodness, tell me about that.
It was kind of shocking and overwhelming. I didn't realize that I would even be in that same conversation with the group of women that are nominated to the Women in Business. So it was humbling to be nominated, and then be a part of that group that won. Was just awesome.
That's amazing, because you oftentimes get lumped into like restaurant women of the year, or there's that. But to be in a huge class of folks from lots of other industries, that's an impressive feat on a statewide level.
Yeah, and just to be recognized. Yes, we're very community minded. We're putting ourselves out there, but we're in the grind every day. I'm not out going, look at me. Yes, and so just to be recognized.
And that's why it comes as a surprise to you, because you're doing that grind every day. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Same, and just was never in a million years would I have thought that we again would be in this class of people that have been selected in the Hall of Fame. Not that we don't deserve it, not that our longevity proves that we're definitely part of this community, but I don't know, just being told you're a recipient of you're inducted into the Hall of Fame just was kind of surreal.
Yeah. It's the people that are in it, and that a lot of our mentors and people that and we started as a cook and a waitress and a bartender, and you try to soak up as much knowledge as all these people who you see as they've made it, they've done it, they figure it out, and all of a sudden it's 20 years later and they're like, yeah, you're one, and you're like, what?
Wait, what? Exactly.
Can't be.
That's called focusing on the business and not on yourself. That's called focusing on the business.
It's another one that, and it's hard. I think Kelly was approached to be a judge of the Miss Carolina Gamecock pageant, which is part of Miss South Carolina, Miss America, and it was like, well, why me? But when you think about it, she's a graduate here. There's these girls in this pageant who are familiar with a business that she owns, and what a great example to look at and be like, that can be me. Look, she was she owns a great business, you know, so it's, you don't really think about those things until you step back or someone says it to you, like, hey, realize what you're doing. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, go ahead.
pretty cool coming out of, you know, the tail end of COVID to be recognized so much, because, you know, those 2 years were pretty brutal. And, you know, to get all these awards, Reader's Digest Best Pizza for South Carolina, those different things, just was kind of this renewed energy.
Yeah.
We're doing something right. So
Absolutely. And has that equated into an uptick in sales? Have you noticed an uptick in sales since, with all the name recognition and attention out there? Have you has it come through on your sales sheet?
Fortunately for us, we are in a growth period.
Nice.
So,
congrats.
Yeah, it's exciting. And
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, like, what is the near future for you guys? What are you kind of looking forward to down the line in the next couple of years?
well, you know,
I just exhausted you just asking that question.
We get that big sigh a lot. It's like when we ask this question, it's like,
sleep.
oh,
yeah.
Maybe some sleep.
If you had asked us, you know, the few years leading up to COVID, it would have been, I'm on a hamster wheel. I can't even get off. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, 2020 happened and we had to really refocus, and, you know, weaknesses were glaring. We had to pivot, as everyone did. And it kind of re-energized us to the strength of our brand. The things that we were able to accomplish during that really terrible time for our industry. So we have spent the better part of the year focusing on a franchise system.
Oh, wow. All right.
Be growing our brand through the franchise network.
Yeah, you've got a great name for something to go across.
Yeah, we, you know, and like Kelly said, I don't, you know, it just kind of felt stagnant before, you know, going into 2020. And again, refocusing priorities, and we had, you know, twins that were toddlers, and
yeah, that'll wear you out.
You know, it was like, what are we doing here? And I don't, you know, it was just kind of, we were stuck. When the pandemic happened, you're forced into it, and it was so much was exposed during that time, and there were some weaknesses that were exposed that we didn't realize were there, and they were glaring, and okay, we got to tighten that up, and we did. But a lot of things that we did very well were exposed that we didn't realize. We were able to do very well. We were deliberate in what we did. We did a good program through that. We were able to keep every employee that wanted to keep a job. We, you know, shut down one location, split our staff, but we were able to do things, and we were able to earn the trust of customers. We got a ton of new customers because, you know, they were forced out of dining rooms, so pickup and delivery, and we were able to execute it well. Yeah. So coming out of that, or through that, I think both of us were like, what? We don't want it. What are we going to do? What are we going to sell these places, move somewhere and open up a pizza place? I mean, what, you know, it's what we do. So it got a little bit exciting. We spent a lot of time going into it. Yeah, we're ready to kind of move forward with the next chapter. And that, like you said, I think what we did, what we realized separately, we both kind of like, we need to look into franchising this. Yeah. And it would say, if we did get out of this, someone would buy this and franchise it. It's got longevity, it's got a proven concept, it's got a name that nobody forgets. Right. So, you know, that did re-energize us, and that's what we're doing now.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll close out, because I know you guys are busy folks, with one question. That is, we have a lot of listeners that, you know, they're pizza makers, or, you know, they're managers, and they haven't bought their first unit yet. They haven't bought their first pizzeria. but they're working in a pizzeria and they're working hard. What advice do you have for them, to get in and do what you did and have the longevity you have for your 20 years into owning? What advice do you have for them?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I always ask the tough questions. Sorry.
Number one, never, especially at the beginning, never break down how much you make an hour.
That could be demoralizing. I get it.
I think it is. I think what I would say is, before you get your own shop, make sure that you love it, that it is in your blood, because there are going to be down times. There's going to be times where you doubt yourself. I mean, hell, even after everything that we've been recognized for in the recent past, I mean, there was a point where I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So you have to be able to get through that. You have to realize there's going to be down times and be able to fight through that and realize that however bad it is, that one person walking up and saying, that's the best pizza I ever had, I'll feel you for forever. That's what you're looking for in the end.
Well, you're in good company, because I don't think any of us know what the hell we're doing. So, it's day to day.
We're all winging it, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add to that, Kelly?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So if you have a partner, get the right one that will stand back to back with you, and fight with you and pick you up when you fall down and dust you off and get you back in the fight. I think that's what we have. I mean, you don't have to be married to them, but if you're gonna have a partner, make sure you're both into it.
Well, congrats on all your success, and we'd love, if you get the franchise thing going again, we'd love to get you back on here and kind of give us the details of how that's going for you and whatnot.
Yeah, I'll be reaching out for stories when I do a franchise story. So sweet. All right. Well, thanks, you guys.
You guys, and I mean, what y'all get to talk about pizza every day. So
good life. It's good life.
Awesome.
I will say too that the funny thing is, like, I was looking for a place to put some of my books. I was cleaning out their room, and this has happened more than once. Kelly is like, well, if you got rid of some of those Pizza Today magazines, it's back to 2000,
I have my whole history down on my bookshelf too. Yeah.
And it's because I saved them before like websites and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in there from like the Dough Doctor. It's like stuff that's gonna last forever. So
I'll thumb through seasonally too. Be like, okay, let's look at some seasonal things. What was happening in like 2013, or just to see what was happening. Like, it's fun.
Don't encourage him. I am trying to get him to purge some stuff.
Keep him, man. Keep him. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your week, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having us. Enjoyed it.
All right. Take care.
Bye.